From a secret underground bunker somewhere in the Arizona desert, 40 feet below the Earth's surface, two men, aided by their robotic artificial intelligence, Jennifer,
At your service.
hide from their wives and kids to discuss man stuff with interesting and unusual people. These men are the Bunker Boys. You just can't get rid of us. We're back again.
No, you can't.
Well, today's show is going to be very interesting. If you're into computing at all, and you don't even have to be to understand what this is all about, we're going to check in with our friend Bill, and he's going to tell us about 3D printing, where you actually take some data from your computer and you make a 3D object from it.
That's amazing.
That is absolutely amazing. You know, if you need a part, there's a place where you can download it and print it. So we'll get him on the line here in just a little bit, and we'll talk about that. Garth, how you been?
I've been pretty good. How about yourself?
Not bad.
Good.
Yeah, that rock over there, I know I keep mentioning that, the way you rocked your driveway, looks beautiful.
Thank you very much.
It's tons and tons of rock.
Yes, it is.
You don't realize how much rock it takes to rock an area. You think, oh, it's just a little bit of rock, and you'll kind of fence it off or with railroad ties or something, and then you filled it in with your rock, and then if you wanted any depth at all, you got to put a good chunk of rock in there.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
And it's cheap overall. I mean, when you think about how long it lasts, but when you think about the initial price, it's all up front. You know, it's all
right.
A couple $100 a load or something.
Well, yeah, just to have it delivered is almost the same cost as the rock.
I know. It's crazy. But anyway, it's a cheap way to make your property look nice. And,
yes,
and yours does look nice.
Yeah, and I hope it holds the dirt down.
Yes, because up here, man, the wind is just atrocious. And you get that wind going. In fact, you might even hear it now.
Yeah.
It's kind of warm, but the wind's blowing around, and as the seasons change, that wind comes through and just whips the dirt everywhere. So putting rock down is a great thing to keep the dirt out of your house.
Yes, it is. I was going to change the oil in the little truck this morning.
And you couldn't do it?
Because I took the dogs for their walk early before the wind would start blowing. They walk out the front door. Here's the wind. Whoosh. Oh, great. Oh, well.
Well, hey, Jennifer?
Yes.
Could you turn the fan on? Because it's just warm in here.
All systems online.
Thank you. Yeah, you might hear the wind kick up as the fan comes on. The sound effect courtesy of Garth. But we'll get right to Bill.
Hey, Jen, can you bring up Bill on the phone for us?
Your guest on line 1.
Thank you. That was quick.
So here we are with Bill again, checking in with us. We just want to see what he's up to because he's always doing something.
Bill again.
Bill again. Bill again.
Oh, okay.
Bill again. Bill again. Bill again. Not to be confused with the skipper and the...
Gilligan.
Right.
Thanks, little buddy.
Yep, hey, little buddy.
That's big buddy to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know you had bought a printer. We were talking in the last show about the printing you're doing with... Who
is this?
Who is this? Hello? McFly? You're talking. I'm going to smack you. I'm going to reach through this phone.
Oh, dear.
Who is this?
You've seen the cartoons. We can do this.
It's too funny.
Really? Who is this?
So you've been doing some printing with plastic
Yes.
printing. What is it called?
Filament.
Filament. No. What's the printing called?
3D printing.
3D printing. Thank you.
Yes.
I couldn't think of that to save my life, and I know what it is.
That's okay.
See,
You
I'm at
had a
that
senior
age.
moment there.
I sure did. So you're printing things. You're printing pieces, parts for things, right?
Pieces, parts. I need a cabinet for this thing to fit in so I can close it in and vent it out.
What are we talking about, this thing?
The 3D,
It sounded
3D
awful.
Printer, the 3D printer is going to go in its own cabinet that has
okay.
an enclosure
That makes sense.
that's vented outside.
All right.
So if it's any fumey filaments, we don't have to breathe it in the house. How's that?
Yeah, that's a good idea. So is this thing like rock hard when it gets done printing, or is it?
Oh, yes, it's very strong, yes.
Because I was always concerned you'd print something and it won't last.
No, you can make it solid. The safe filament, you can have a percentage of hollowness. Does that make any sense?
Uh-huh. That leaves a lot of possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Is he still there?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I hear you.
Rockford's
Is
getting
it
hungry.
feeding time for the animals?
Yes, just about.
Yes, it is.
In a few more minutes.
Guys, just if you want to really get off the subject for a minute,
Sure.
If you wonder why your dogs know what time it is to eat,
Mm-hmm.
and if it goes to daylight savings time and it throws you off, put their bowls, their feeding dishes in the dishwasher or scrub them and soak them because they go by smell. The smell just dissipates so they know what time it is.
Really?
And that's what the hell the deal is with dogs. And they know what time to get you up and everything because the smell is gone. When the smell runs out, it's time to get dad up.
Ah.
So that's what the
Interesting.
deal is. So if you go on daylight savings time or Easter, whatever you guys got out there, Mountain War time, Mountain War time,
Yeah, we stay.
wash the dishes when you change the time back or forward, and you can get your dogs regulated to the right time again real quick.
Earth to Bill, we don't change our time
Yeah,
in Arizona.
we stay the same all year.
Is that right? I did not know that, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. We're one of, 2 states that do that?
I think.
Really?
I think we're the only one. Aren't
I
we?
think there's one city or one section of Indiana that
Well,
doesn't do that.
I think I was looking the 5 places to move to. I think Tucson's still up there on the charts. Lexington, Kentucky is like number 2 or number 3. Tennessee, Nashville, and Utah, but it's still the number 1 place to move to.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty nice. I have lived in Tucson, so I can tell you that.
That's why I moved to Arizona so I wouldn't have to change my clocks.
Now there's the
Well,
height of
there you
laziness.
go.
See?
But if time's that important to you, okay, that'll work. Yeah, that's cool. Now you did direct me to a web page that had a bunch of plans where you could download them.
Yes, Chris, if you always wanted to make a ribbon microphone, and if you get on like Thingiverse and look, and if you find something that you want printed, just let me know and I'll do it for free for you. And like the basic frame or whatever you need to get started on a ribbon mic, and instead of trying to make something on your own now, I'll be glad to do it for you.
I appreciate that. It might be a worthwhile investment for me to just buy one, though, if that's the case.
Right.
I mean, that's an interesting thing. I mean, there's always pieces and parts you need.
Right. He went to what's the Norwegian furniture company here in Columbus and PA?
IKEA?
Yes. He bought 2 end tables and turned them upside down, end to end with the legs up,
Right?
and 3D printed tapered connectors that fit the legs that you screw on and put the 2 together. And he's making plexiglass doors with printed hinges that put the 3D printer in.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So that's slick.
And this was somebody online?
Yes.
Wow. The things you don't think you could use. Now, what about gears? If you make something like a gear,
Oh my God! We down at the Makerspace in Akron. Makerspaces are an in thing right now, and what they are, for a minimal fee a month, you can join a group that has a facility that has everything that you need to make stuff: woodworking, welding, 3D printing, computer soldering, that kind of stuff. And they'll teach you how to run this stuff. And for people that don't have access, like to a workshop or anything, or live in an apartment, it's absolutely an excellent way to learn how to use all this stuff.
wow. Do you think most cities have a makerspace like that?
Everybody does. Every community now has a makerspace.
That is a great idea. Teach people how to make things. Yeah. Now, what I was thinking about with the gears
Yeah,
is,
teach people how to make things instead of
We
babies.
actually printed transmissions that look like something out of a Model T, planetary gears.
Right.
And when this thing is finished, it moves. I mean, there's no assembly required, guys. I don't know how this thing knows how to do this, but the moving parts are independent of itself. They're not fused together.
So as they're-
you'd actually make a model of a car transmission. This thing will print it out.
Wow. Wow. I don't know how on earth it would do that.
Simply amazing.
So
It is.
Now back to the gears. When you make a gear, it's hard enough that thing's going to last a long time.
This stuff's pretty durable. I'm really looking into finding a good clock movement or something to print out and make. People that break apart on a dishwasher or a washing machine or something, you have your plastic parts
Right.
and a simple CAD program that you can learn or look it up. Someone may have a free app already for the part, and you don't even have to go to an appliance store to get your part anymore.
So Thingiverse is your best friend, huh?
Thingiverse is your best friend. We may not see it. I think we might. If you're in your late 50s, early 60s, on maybe another 20 or 30 years, you'll be able to go to a kiosk, put your money in, and we'll print you a car.
I'd like a motorcycle with this, please.
Yes, that's the way it's going to be, guys.
Put in your card. Come back in 4 hours and your motorcycle will be ready.
Well, they have
Now, 3D printing does take a long time. For an object, maybe the size of a large drinking cup might take 10 hours.
Wow, that is long.
car vending machines now.
They do?
Yes. You go in there and stick your credit card in there and it shucks you out a car.
Oh, my gosh.
Uh-huh.
What will they think of next?
Well, they're printing 3D houses now.
Yeah, I have
What?
seen that.
Yes.
They do it in sections, right?
Yes,
Yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. They fit together like a puzzle.
right.
So you can build like the bottom part and another part fits on top.
Isn't that something?
And almost like Lego blocks.
Wow.
But you can print a whole, circumference of a house at once if you wanted to.
Well, we're lucky. You guys and myself, when our internal organs start to fail, we'll just print our new stuff and some doctor can just swap them out for us.
I hope so.
Wow. Yeah, the only problem is there'll be some flaw. That'll be my luck.
That's what the deal is with 3D printing with DNA. That's your DNA that they use, so there's no rejection.
That's
Creepy. Yes,
It
creepy.
is- how would you print with DNA? I'm sure there's a way.
What you do. It was speaking of Berkeley, let's bring this up again. Well, they said, they had a DNA printing machine. And they said, okay, let's do a computer code, and we'll make a star. We'll make a heart. The star was the Star of David. We'll make a figure 8, and we'll ship the program to them and tell them to put it in their DNA machine, their printer, 3D printer, and see what happens. In the DNA, it was the most bizarre thing you've ever seen. You could see it right before your eyes. It would make the Star of David and the figure 8 and whatever they programmed into it.
Wow.
Now, just so you guys know, I don't know if you're keeping up with anything as far as the science into this and the DNA. When they came out with the movie The Matrix, which took me several years to fathom this movie, all the junk DNA that's in you right now, they thought was just from being passed on from person to person. You have a set code that makes you, and the rest of what they call junk DNA is stuff that you inherited, is actually a computer code.
Well,
So they actually think now what is going on, this is a simulation.
Well, it is. I mean, it is. It's a creation, and that's the
Yes.
thing. And I'm not
Yeah.
bothered by that in the least, because I know that the guy that created us is living outside this world, and it makes me further believe that there's a God that created all this stuff. It is a creation, no question. So man is finally catching up with what the Bible already knows. What do you think about that?
Pretty strange. Pretty strange.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're not even here anymore. We've been dead for 1,000,000 years, and this is just the shadow of what we've done already.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to an old Art Bell show on the way up.
Oh, he just passed away.
Yeah, he did. Back on, I think it was April 13th. It was a Friday.
Yes, I loved Art Bell.
I did too. I really enjoyed his show and didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that his guests brought out, and sometimes I was bored by some of them.
Yeah, it's just entertainment.
Yeah, it was. And when there was somebody good on that I was interested in, I was glued to it. So I was listening to him talk, and this was several years ago, with Linda Moulton Howe, who has her own website. And she got started, I think, with those cattle mutilation stories. And that's how she came into the
Oh,
forefront.
they never did catch me.
Yes. You're cutting the jaws and anuses out of cows.
I had to have something for Sash.
Oh, I see. Changed your diet.
He's
did you?
going to 3D him.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. But she said that she had interviewed somebody that had found, through underwater exploration off the coast of Cuba, they found this city that had sunk almost 2 miles down.
Oh.
Was it floating?
And no, it wasn't
No,
floating.
no, it wasn't floating.
No, it was floating, then it sank.
Yeah, well, it was floating at one time, but now it ended up on the ocean floor, and they have found that there was this ancient sea culture that had lived along the coast, and it had a lot of the writings that they use, but it was different. She said that it looked like somewhere between hieroglyphs and ancient Greek writing, but it was not Greek. It just looked like Grecian-formed letters and symbols. So that's interesting stuff.
Well, you know, before all the plates separated, it was just one landmass. I don't see what the stink is. We probably knew what was going on, and you know, after a certain amount of time, everything started to separate. That's the reason why cultures from South America and you go to Egypt are basically the same thing. Is because at one time we were all together. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But, you know, they used to think, well, they called that landmass Pangaea. They used to think that Pangaea was like the South America fit into, well, no, Africa fit into where South America and the United States come together. But they say they have measured that, and there's no way that it could fit. That's a misnomer. It's not true. So there's still conjecture on that. And I thought that was solved, but I guess not.
Well, I have my own theory.
Of course you do. You're Bill.
You know what? You know why dinosaurs were so huge?
Why?
Okay, what you were speaking of. When the land mass is all together, the Earth was smaller. Well, after you stay in space and start spinning around and around and around, what happens?
You get dizzy?
Besides that,
I don't know.
well, if I took a balloon full of water and I spinned it, what would happen?
Well, it would expand out.
Oh, there you go. That's why the animals were so big back then, because of the gravitational pull.
Maybe. There might be something to that. It's interesting to talk about, though.
Never thought of it that way.
Spin your animals until they get longer and taller.
I want a big dog, man. Okay, just spin them.
That's why I had that growth spurt, because my dad used to swing me around the yard.
If your gravitational pull is less, your animals are going to be bigger. Just think how big you would be thousands of years ago, right?
Yeah. And then, of course, there was a lot more cloud cover then, and they say that that's why the Bible talks about the people living longer, like Methuselah, living to,
Well, it never
1,000.
rained. You know, it never rained back then.
That is true. It never rained until after the flood.
Never
or till
rained.
the flood.
That's
Until
right.
after the flood.
Till the flood.
That's right.
There
Yep,
was no
absolutely.
rain until the flood,
Yep.
which means that we must have had a lot of atmospheric dew. Yeah.
Do.
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo. We had a lot of doo-doo.
That's interesting. I never knew that until some guy was talking about it. He goes, well, you know, before the flood, there was no rain.
Well, how'd everything grow?
There was
It was
moisture
just
in the air.
heavy moisture, dew point.
The heavy dew point. So in the morning,
Yeah, heavy dew point.
there would be lots of moisture on the ground.
Was the fog as thick as sea poop?
Yes,
I mean
you
pea
couldn't
soup?
see- you couldn't see yourself. You could see your hand in front of your face.
I can believe that.
I actually been to a place where you couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
It's called dark, nighttime.
Pikeville, Kentucky.
Yeah?
That fog was so bad that you could stick your hand clear out. You could not see your hand. The fog was so thick.
Well,
I have never seen it that foggy, but that is interesting.
I've almost seen it that foggy on the ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
pea soup fog.
I mean, I was in charge of the radar. We had, 25 passengers on the boat. I was in charge of the radar. The captain was steering. Okay, we got a target about 400 yards in front of us, which was a big ship, because we're in L.A. Harbor, So all of a sudden we're close. Like 200 yards, Cook, you better slow down. Okay. Because you couldn't see nothing around you.
Oh, that's scary.
And all of a sudden it disappeared off the radar.
No
I'm
way.
Like, I'm like, Cook, stop. Stop the boat. He goes, why? I says, we lost the target. And all of a sudden, because he didn't put it in reverse, he just took it out of gear and the boat was drifting. And here's this big ship 25 yards in front of us.
Oh my gosh. So if you're that close to something, it drops off the radar?
I guess so, yeah.
Holy
And this radar
mackerel.
did. I think it was a Raytheon radar, but
Yeah, those are nice, Raytheon.
or Raytheon,
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was orange too. Once you
Got close
got
enough
close
to see
enough
it.
to see it,
Well, once you reach out and touch it,
right?
Wow.
We there's no more London fog. We grew up with Sherlock Holmes and those old movies and stuff, and heard all the stories about how bad the fog was in London and stuff. And, that's passé now. There's no such thing because they don't burn coal anymore.
Oh, is that what was causing it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
London fog is kind of a thing of the past now.
Well, of course, you can breathe a lot easier in London now then.
Yeah. Probably everybody had asthma and respiratory problems and usually died in their 40s.
Either that or the Black Death, right?
Either that or the werewolves got him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Werewolves in London.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Rockford's waiting to eat. He's just sitting by the door, like looking at us, like, when are you going to be done?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sasha actually knew I cooked for her tonight. She's waiting with bated breath to try her new food. So
Good deal. Well, I won't keep you then. We'll just we'll let these dogs eat, and we'll talk to you next time. If you can run into something interesting, let us know.
well, like I said, just let me know what you want to talk about, and I'll fill you in, guys.
Oh yeah, I know you're always doing something. Yeah, I'll find something to print that might help me with that microphone. I'd like to make a ribbon mic, as you were saying.
At least get a frame made,
Yeah, that frame to hold the little piece of aluminum. And you have to buy that from, it's like, 0.2 mil thick, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking. Somebody had actually made a tensioner machine that has to be pulled to a certain point too.
Yeah, I saw that I've got that in my email somewhere. Mm-hmm. That's
Very
good.
interesting. I don't like ribbon mics.
You don't? Why?
Sorry, no, I'll stick with the carbon.
Have you ever had one that sounded good?
A
'Cause-
carbon mic?
Yeah.
Hell no, that's what the whole point is.
Well, that's what I don't like that sound. I would
Oh
prefer
no, that's the sound I'm going for.
the ribbon mic sounds so nice.
Right. Well, that technology didn't come out till TV. That's RCA's deal.
What, ribbon?
Yeah.
That has something to do with television?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, I don't know how you'd relate that to TV.
Well, that's when it was invented. It was a TV mic. Ribbon mics were that was a late 40s, 50s television RCA invention.
Yeah, I know they had them for Sinatra when he would do TV recordings and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain to you a while back, that if you hear a transcription, you think it's the disc or the wire, that noise that you hear, and it's not. It's the microphones.
Wow, all that time I thought it was the wire.
No.
Huh.
You have to embrace it. You have to love that. You embrace the hit.
It's not my kind of sound. I like things a little more full,
Clean, clear. Yeah.
tremble. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Nowadays,
great.
yes.
All right, William. Well, you take it easy, and I'll call you again sometime, and we'll
Okay,
do some
guys.
more recording.
All right.
Take care, Bill. Good talking with you.
Yeah, bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He's
That was
something else,
to,
let me tell you.
nice to hear from him again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't call him as often as I'd like, but when he gets on the show, it's really entertainment.
Yes, it is.
He's always doing something or building something or creating something or bringing something to my attention that I wasn't aware of. And then it makes me go do some more research and reading.
So 3D printer only is $139. You would
Yeah.
think that
Apparently so. What was that?
Rockford, he's telling me
Was that him?
he's saying, come on, Dad, I'm getting hungry.
All right. Good talking to Bill.
Yes, it was. He was happy today, huh?
Yes, he was. A little cooking sherry, I think.
Wonder if he gives that to the dogs.
Well, I don't know. Could be good for their intestines.
Well,
So Bill's a hard act to follow, but he sent me a video. It just came into my phone here. It shows his dog, just a whole pound of dog food that he made. She just garfed it up.
like
It's
right
just
now.
gone.
Well, you showed it to me. Yeah, she wasn't messing around with that.
Yep.
She likes that.
Yeah, but the audience didn't know that, so that's why I was sharing.
That was the
That was the audience? That's a lot of audience. I hope that's true. That's good. Yeah, Garth thought he took a break to take his dogs to get something to eat.
I wish I would have took him to the water park.
Yeah, really. It's that hot. It's humid. Unusually humid.
In here it is, anyways.
Yeah, well,
in the
vegetable-
man cave.
The man
or the
cave,
bunker, I should
40
say.
feet below the Earth's surface. You'd think it'd be cool, but with all this electronic gear, it gets warm in here. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
I've got the fan running in the corner.
Schmitty's got to fire up the suction fans.
Yeah, something. I don't know what Smitty's up to.
Yeah, we haven't talked to Schmitty in a long time.
Yeah, you get him started, he just doesn't stop.
Is he? Have you seen him lately?
Yeah, well, he's still moving around.
Is he still making
He's
noise?
still here. You know, that guy will probably live forever. You know, that's how it works.
Probably.
He'll outlive the rest of us. But we'll get him on the show one time soon.
All right.
So Garth comes over and he goes, "Hey, look at this. I found an arrowhead," because there's arrowheads all over the place up here. And he keeps telling me that one day I will find one. I have yet to find one. But he comes in, he brings this rock, and I go, "That's not an arrowhead. It looks like a pointer." It's a rock that sort of looks like an arrow point, but it's huge. It's about as big as the palm of my hand.
It was facing southwest.
Well,
on
there
the,
you go.
It was on Mossberg's Trail.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a trail between his house and mine that the dogs used to use. And
Well, they still do.
yeah, and we just named it Mossberg after his dearly departed puppy.
Yes.
He was a
I
sweetheart.
miss him.
How big was he?
He was 95 pounds.
That is a big doggy.
And then the vet said I should put him on a diet.
I need to put Max on a diet. Maybe if I put him on Bill's food diet, it'll work.
Put Leo on a nice diet.
He's, with Leo, he's a little Chihuahua, and he's got an underbite, and he's really ugly, but he's so ugly, he's cute. He's got bugged out eyes, and
You
an
think
underbite.
he's cute?
I do. There's something
Looks like a
heartwarming about him.
gargoyle.
He does look like a gargoyle. But he is the sweetest little dog, and he's just afraid of everybody but us.
Right.
And even with us, we had to work with him to get him to accept us. We got him from somebody else who was ready to take him to put him down because he just was hard to control. He was just all over the place. But he settled down into a nice little dog. He's just a sweetheart.
To you guys.
Yeah, to us. But we need to get him acclimated to other people.
Right.
He just
And
barks his head
other
off.
dogs.
Yeah, and once he settles down, he'll be all right. If we were up here all the time, well, I think we could do that. But since we only bring him up every so often,
You're seasonal visitors.
seasonal. We're not seasonal, but
I know. You're weekly or bi-weekly.
yeah, sometimes during the week, sometimes end of the week, whatever days we can get off. But yeah,
I wish you guys would hurry up and move up here.
I do too. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to retire. My wife is too. She said the other day, she goes, I was this close to just walking off the job. I said, don't do that.
Uh-oh.
You'll mess up the plan. Believe me, I want to do it too, but we just can't do it yet. Get Nick through school and we'll be good.
Right.
And he's getting real close. Got a few more years.
3 more years or
4.
4?
Yeah.
Oh, he's still in junior high.
Yeah, he's just getting starting high school this year.
Okay.
We get him through. I told him we wouldn't reduce our income so that wouldn't affect him. But once we get him through school, then we'll get him into college if he wants to go, and we'll take it from there.
What kids want to go to for what anymore? You don't. can't find a job once you get out.
It's tough, but Embry-Riddle has a good placement program.
Oh, okay. Embry-Riddle. Yeah, that's good and expensive also.
Yeah, it's about $40,000 a year. And I think with his, if he does well in school, which so far he has, and I expect him to continue, then maybe we can get a scholarship for him. His cousin's going there. She's starting next semester to Embry-Riddle. And she's a very bright girl. I don't know what she's studying there yet. I should ask her.
What's her name, Star?
It should be. Or we can call her son, but that wouldn't quite fit, though, would
No,
it?
not a girl. You could call Nick son.
Yeah, I could. Nixon.
He's pretty bright.
I didn't do it. I'm not a crook. That's Nixon.
Baloney.
You did do it, and you were a crook, you knucklehead. But now you're dead, and it's all but forgotten. Hey, I bought a stuff at the yard sale, as you know I always like to do, because...
You did?
Yes. I'm trying to animate myself because I'm tired. And there's always something at a yard sale or a garage sale or an estate sale. And I always look for old tools that can benefit us up here, because you can't be toolless up here.
No, you can't. Or toothless. Well, it could be toothless, but...
Well, there are those up here that are toothless.
Yes, there is.
So you know that's wrong. But I found some pry bars that are, I don't know what you call them, but they're, I don't know, 4 feet long, metal, solid steel. Mm-hmm. You can get under a rock and just roll it.
Are they pointed at one end and flat at with the other?
Yeah, yeah. I've got one of those, and I've got the other kind it's got like a place where you can hammer on the end. It's got a flat, round knob on the top.
Like a giant chisel.
Yeah, exactly. We bought 2 of those. And then we bought a chain with probably 3-inch links on it.
Steel chain.
Steel chain.
You know, plastic works really good up here.
Iron. Yeah, plastic. Yeah, that'd be the last thing I'd do. We bought a brand new chain, and I didn't think my little FJ was going to pull the storage unit, but I thought, I won't even need 4-wheel drive at first. I hooked up the chain, nothing. It wouldn't budge. Stuck it in 4-wheel drive, and that thing just pulled like butter.
How far did you have to pull it?
Just a few feet, just to move it a little bit, because it was angled the wrong way, and so we hooked it up and pulled it and turned it just a few degrees. Made all the difference.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Likewise, I'm sure.
Where did you get that?
I don't know.
I heard that in some movie somewhere, and that just likewise, I'm sure.
Yeah, it wasn't a woman that said that?
I think so.
Yeah. Likewise, I'm sure.
Was that a musical?
I don't remember.
I think it was a Frank Sinatra musical. It was a Guys and Dolls or something like that. And some girl, likewise, I'm sure. She was a dumb blonde. Mm-hmm. Not that all blondes are dumb, because I know some smart ones.
Well, yeah, they're.
But that one was. She was like a cartoon character and everything. She was goofy.
Who was this?
A girl that said, likewise, I'm sure.
Oh, okay, got it.
She was just goofy. Goofy, I'm sure.
Got you now.
2 degrees of separation from a rock. I'm sure.
Wow.
What's the most interesting thing you found on your property?
Arrowheads, I would say. Oh, no. Well, it wasn't on my property. I found one of those old Indian head nickels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the date was worn off of it, but
But it was up here? Mm-hmm. Wow. Wonder who that belonged to.
I don't know. But see, they used to cut wood up here for the railroad.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Ask my wife.
Is she a woodchuck?
No, she cuts a lot of wood, though.
So you're the woodchuck. You chuck it after she cuts it.
Yeah, I chuck it. She cuts it. No. No.
That's why they call you Chuck. Hey, Chuck, over here.
I was going to say something, and I forgot.
About, they used to cut wood up here.
Oh, yeah, for the railroad. For the Santa Fe Railroad, I guess it used to be.
And what did they use the wood for?
For the steam engines.
The locomotives.
Right.
Oh, I thought they used coal for that.
Not back then.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you aware of that huge place down at the end of the road here near the freeway? I think it was north of the freeway, where they used to have a big restaurant. It was a train stop, and they had all these girls they hired in from the Midwest to serve food, and had a huge bar. It was a big horseshoe bar.
Where was this?
Right up the street. It's been torn down a long time ago.
Up the street?
Yeah, I don't want to say where because then people will triangulate.
You mean out here or
Well,
near town?
Near town.
Oh.
North of the freeway.
Well, yeah, that was Old Ash Fork.
Well, there was an old building there that some guy, some hotel magnate bought and built there and made it one of the big stops on the way into
Right,
California.
for the railroad.
Yeah. And they would,
I forgot, what in the heck is the name of that? You could probably look it up.
yeah, and they would hire girls from the Midwest that came to come out and to serve people food, and they had a strict dress code, and it was done like a first-class hotel.
Right.
And people would love to stop there because there were great meals.
You know, that town burnt down once before.
Did it? Mm-hmm. What
And
caused
it was on the other side of the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
And then if you ever go through town, you know where the water tower is?
Yeah.
Okay, if you look past that, you'll see another water tower. That was the water tower for the first town before it burnt down.
It was the old I-40 area near Williams. Yeah, yeah. And there was a movie made. I think it had Cary Grant or somebody in it.
Judy, Judy, Judy.
You know, he never said that,
No.
but he did talk like that. Why did he talk like that? Why does anyone talk like that?
I always wanted
weird.
to know who Judy was.
Judy, Judy, Judy. He gave her jewelry, jewelry, jewelry.
Oh, is that what it was?
No,
I
I
thought
have
you
no
said he
idea.
didn't never said that.
No, he never did say it.
How do you know?
It's because somebody asked him about it.
Really?
Because I never said that. I never said that.
Well, why does everybody say it?
I think he said Judy one time in a movie,
Oh,
but some comedian made it Judy, Judy, Judy
I got you.
as he was impersonating him.
I just learned something new.
Yeah.
How about
but
that?
he never said that. Okay, Jennifer, maybe you can look that up for us. What do you think?
Accessing data now.
Thank you. Maybe she'll come up with something here.
I'm sure she will.
Sending to display now.
Okay, that didn't take long. Oh, they were called the Harvey Girls. She brought it up on the monitor. I want to see what this source is from. The Daily Courier from Prescott, Arizona.
I'll be darned.
They've got a picture of them. They look like milkmaids from the 1920s or something. They got little nursey outfits on. Okay, let's see what this one little comment is from Cora Mathis Scott. She was a Harvey girl, and the place was called the Escalante Hotel in Ash Fork, Arizona.
I'll be darned.
1919 was the year.
That's when my dad was born.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. It says the Harvey girls were hardworking waitresses who served meals at the Fred Harvey hotels and his restaurants along the Santa Fe Railroad. These young women waited tables in several Arizona hotels, including the Escalante in Ash Fork, the La Posada in Winslow, the El Tovar at the Grand Canyon, and the Havasu in Seligman.
I'll be darned.
Did you know there was one in Seligman?
No, I didn't.
Me either. And that's just down the road, too, on the 40.
Right.
They were hired for their ability to provide excellent service and for their moral character.
Actually, it was on Old Route 66.
Yeah, that's more accurate. You're right. Which now is I-40. I guess it's been rerouted.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
go off the side.
Yeah, Route 66 is defunct now. And you took me out on Route 66, the old version, not far from here.
The old road.
Yeah, what's it look like? Tell everybody.
Looks like an old road.
It's all chunks of concrete coming up, and
Well, it was red asphalt. I don't know what they used. They might have used cinders or something. I don't know, but
wow.
remember the road was red,
Yeah,
and
Yep.
it's all finally starting to fall apart. And it's pretty interesting just to.
is it all south of the I-40 now, or does it some of it go north?
Well,
Because it's parallel to the 40.
I think the town of Ash Fork is still part of Old Route 66. So yeah.
Okay. And you can go there today.
Right.
How many streets in Ash Fork? About 4?
Well, I know there's an in and an out.
Yeah.
Basically.
And it's one way on one side.
Right, two one ways. Well, they're both one ways.
Yeah.
Going
but they
into
go
town,
opposite directions
Then you have cutoffs. You could cut across and then go back down.
and reach I-40 or
Right.
come out to 89.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they've got some Lulu Bell's restaurant there hosts your recipe for their
Barbecue sauce. Yes.
So if you're ever along I-40 and you want to stop on your way to, well, let's see, if you're coming in from California, on your way to the Grand Canyon, or coming back from Williams, it's just west of Williams.
Right.
And Lulu Bell's has some great food.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And a great sauce, Uncle Garth's recipe.
Yeah, well, they call it Garth sauce.
Yeah, and it's good. We had it there. My wife and I stopped there one time, and along with Nick. Mm-hmm. And who we met there was, it was the first time I'd been in there. It was the guy that had done all the cartoon music for the Flintstones and the Jetsons.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, we were interviewed, or I actually talked to him. I interviewed him. I wish I could have recorded that. I should have, in hindsight. But he lives in Williams. But anyway, the Harvey Hotels was a major improvement on food available to passengers on trains, because before they could just get little things that they could preserve, like nuts and fruit. But they often ended in poor food service and high prices along the railroad lines. And what Fred Harvey did was establish a series of restaurants to allow passengers a place to dine for reasonable price, clean surroundings, great service, and good food. So he scored big time, and people loved when they went to the Harvey Hotels. He says the Harvey girls were recruited from towns across the nation. They were required... Let me try to say it. That's all, folks. They were required to sign a 6-month contract. They had to agree to remain unmarried and abide by all the company rules while they were employees.
Wow.
And once they were hired, they were given a railroad pass to travel to their new place of work. And then Fred Harvey stipulated that the women be articulate, neat in appearance, educated at least up to 8th grade, and well-mannered. And the young women typically lived in dormitories nearby or on the upper floors of the hotels where they worked, so they would be available on short notice when the trains arrived. And matrons supervised their comings and goings. Said most of the waitresses were in their 20s, never had been married, although as decades passed, more married, widowed, or divorced women were hired. Yeah, there's pictures out on the internet. If you look up the Escalante, you'll see it. It's no longer around. I was checking the Ash Fork directories, and they said they had pictures of it and postcards of it. You can look at it and see it, but they tore it down. I don't know who did it.
Are you sure they tore it down or it burned down?
Well, it may have burned down. I don't know, but it's been torn down since. Cora, who was interviewed, she says, "You didn't walk, you ran when those trains came in. And they always knew when the trains would arrive. They were ready to serve meals quickly. And after waitressing for 7 months in Ash Fork, she said she moved to San Diego for nursing school. But they had to wear uniforms, black dresses with white aprons, black stockings, and shoes. And during the early 20th century, their skirts hung no more than 8 inches off the floor.
Wow.
You don't want to show too much of that sexy ankle.
Exactly.
Yeah. They were required.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Some of them went to work at Havasu. Luz Delgadillo became a Harvey girl in Seligman during World War II. She said she worked at the Havasu place. She served soldiers who came through on troop trains. In one shift, the Harvey girl served as many as 7 troop trains, each carrying 200 soldiers.
Wow.
That's a lot of food.
That's a lot of food going through there.
No wonder they ran when the trains came. Wow. And then they all had to do it on a time because the train had to leave on time.
Right.
So sometimes the layover was an hour or half hour. I don't know.
See, they were probably refueling or getting water and wood.
Wood from here, from down the road. And I'm trying to remember the name of the movie that was... There it is. I found it. It's The Harvey Girls from 1946.
Wow.
It stars Judy Garland.
Judy.
There we go again. Judy Garland. The director was George Sidney. Writer Edmund Boulogne and Nathaniel Curtis. Judy Garland, Ray Bolger, who was with Judy Garland in 2 movies at least.
Wow.
And then John Hodiak. I know that name. I just can't remember why I know it.
Who dat? Who dat?
Angela Lansbury was in it.
Oh, in 49?
Yeah.
Boy, she was young.
She must have been. Preston Foster, Virginia O'Brien, Kenny Baker, Marjorie Main. Now, she was a big-time actress. Chill Wills.
Jill, I remember, yeah.
I love Chill Wills. I just love his voice. He's got a really interesting voice. Sid Charisse. She must have been really young. Jack Lambert. Nevada Smith. She was a dance hall girl. That's her name, Nevada Smith. She's a dance hall girl, uncredited.
That's a Steve McQueen movie, too, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Now you got me all confused.
Yeah. See if it tells me what the storyline was. Oh, yeah, here it is. Here's a summary of it, and this is from the Internet Movie Database. It says, on a train trip west to become a mail-order bride, Susan Bradley meets a cheery crew of young women traveling out to open a Harvey House, a restaurant at a remote whistle stop to provide good cooking and wholesome company for railway travelers.
I'll be darned.
When Susan and her bashful suitor find romance daunting, Susan joins the Harvey girls instead. The saloon across the street with its alluring worldly wise women offers them tough competition, fair and foul, and Susan catches the eye of the Ned Trent, the distant but intense proprietor of the bar.
So, kind of getting backtrack here.
Yeah.
Now, when you were on the computer, did they say anything about a Harvey House up in Williams? Because I think they might have had one. I don't know, but I think my friend told me about that because he used to work for the Grand Canyon Railroad and he knew all kinds of stuff about all that up there.
Learn that history, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Escalante Hotel. I didn't see anything in Williams. They just talk about Seligman, Ash Fork, and Havasu, and Grand Canyon, the El Tovar.
I'll be darned.
That's right on the rim. It's a really old, rustic, looks like a log hotel, made out of logs. And it still looks good. They've kept it in pretty good shape, and you can stay there today. I just don't know what the lead time is on that. Some of those places like that are really difficult to get into. You have to register a year or two in it.
It's really hard to open your pocketbook for them, too.
Yeah, that is the truth. Well, there is something in Williams. Mm-hmm. William Harvey House.
See? There we go.
It was an 18 4-star plus boutique hotel.
Wow. 4-star plus.
Oh, wait a minute.
Mackerel.
That's in London.
Oh. Well, what?
Well, it says Williams, and then it's got a train picture, and then it's got that. So
Okay, well, scratch that.
back to you, Arthel.
Back to you, Arthel.
So we learned something in our little adventure today in beautiful downtown Ash Fork with its 2 one-way streets.
You ever been through Ashford? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been through there. Yeah. Just stopping along the highway near Williams, or coming from Williams.
Right.
We saw it there, and so we pulled off, and there's a nice little restaurant and a gas station. Are there 2 gas stations?
Yes. Well, there's one in one side of town and one on the other side of town.
And then you got there's a bar or 2.
Right.
That you may not want to. I don't know if you want
I
to go
think
there.
there's only one bar.
And then there's a couple of breakfast places. Mm-hmm. And then there's a car sitting on top of it used to be an old DeSoto dealership or
Right.
something.
I think that's a hairdresser.
Yeah.
The hairdresser owns that place.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's called DeSoto's.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. That's why she has a car up there, I guess.
Yep, I guess so. Well, there you go.
Very interesting. If anybody's listening to this and you want to look it up, it's pretty interesting.
And I did read something on that, too, because along with this, they were talking about there was a movie filmed in Ash Fork. Oh, here it is. It's Universal Soldier. They probably didn't even have to shut the town down because there's so little activity there.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them having to do it. But it looks like they filmed in Kingman, Chloride, Lake Mead, Sedona, Hualapai Indian Reservation, Cottonwood, because that's all around here, Prescott, Verde Valley, Clarkdale, the Veterans Administration Medical Center on Highway 89 in Prescott, Baghdad. I've never driven through Baghdad, but I pass it.
It's a wonderful town. You should go there.
Somehow it doesn't sound like it. Hoover Dam.
There's no exit. If you go in, you have to turn around and go back on the same road.
I believe it. And then they did some Los Angeles filming. But they did it. They filmed it in August of 91 till September, it looks like. And then, the director was Roland Emmerich. He's the one that did Stargate, I think. And Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren were the 2 nemesis.
Jean-Claude?
Jean-Claude Van Damme and Ali Walker and Ed O'Ross. $36 million gross on that film. All in the same place where the Harvey girls used to work.
Right. Uh-oh. You know it's time?
It's time to go eat for Chris. That's what it is.
Guess what?
What?
Strange but true facts.
Oh, hit me with them.
Really?
Yeah. Don't hit me hard.
I can't reach across the table that far.
I got a long arm.
Flamingos can only eat with their heads upside down. Did you know that?
That makes things a little tough.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. So how do they So do they have to grab it in the water and then turn upside down to eat?
No, they're when they're feeding, they're upside
Oh,
down.
they already are upside down.
And I guess their mouths have filters in it, like a
Brush,
right.
Brush
What are
bristles?
A baleen, like a baleen whale.
like a whale, yeah.
They have brushes in there, and then they eat the creel and stuff.
And they suck it through the brushes.
I guess so, and then swallow it.
Wow. I'm glad I'm not one of those. A flamingo.
They're beautiful birds, though.
Or as I said when I was a kid, a flamingo.
A flamingo.
Yeah, you just flame on and go.
And again, all scorpions glow.
Yeah, I've actually done that myself in my backyard. Got the black light out. You can buy a black light flashlight here in Arizona and turn it on, and man, you can spot them like it's nothing.
I'll be darned.
Yep. Well, you've done it too. You act like you're surprised.
Well, no, I mean, I never used a black light.
Really? Oh, you got to see it. It's really cool. You find them that quickly.
I'll be darned.
But we've got to go.
Uh-oh.
The song's almost over.
Hurry up.
Well, I'm Chris,
I'm Garth.
and we are the Bunker Boys.
The Bunker Boys.